Aloha and welcome to this special edition of Talk Story. As you can tell, it's Spouse Week. This week, I'm Dave, which I'm married to Kehau.
I'm Nahua, married to Jeff.
So this should be a very interesting talk story, to say the least.
I don't know if we're going to be as funny as them.
No, but we're going to work on it, though.
We're going to try. Okay.
Well, because one is in Vegas, hopefully having a great time, supposed to be at work, and then the other one is fishing. And a great picture that we saw on Facebook, Jeff. Keep it up.
Good picture.
I'm still waiting for my mahi-mahi, at least two. No pressure.
Maybe next time.
So, in the words of Elizabeth Taylor to her last husband, we won't keep you long. So what do we have here, Nu? What's our first?
Okay, so this week we talked about fearless surrender.
Yes.
And so the first section that we're going to be talking about is examining fear. And there's a wonderful quote by Martin Luther that says, "I have held many things in my hands and I have lost them all. But whatever I have placed in God's hands, that I still possess." That's really a cool quote. I like that one.
That's a great quote.
Okay.
And we're sorry, Max, that we didn't use you this time. Maybe next week we'll get around and getting one of your quotes again. Okay, so the first question that we have as far as examining fear, the question is, what have you secretly feared God would ask you to do if you truly surrendered everything to Him? Now, before I say pause, I do want to just give out a word of encouragement. Now, we are in week 6, I believe. So I know that in the groups that you guys are in, I know you guys are feeling pretty comfortable. And I just want those who feel a little bit shy, maybe a little reserved to say something, just know that, God resides in you. And there are great things that need to come out of you and that you can share to the group. It could be a blessing to someone in that group, or they can know somebody that can use that encouraging word. So open thy mouth and just let it fly. All right, pause now.
Word. Wonderful. Thanks for joining us again. So our next question is, what have you placed in God's hands that has brought you much freedom in the areas of relationships, finances, plans for the future, etc.? So pause now.
All right. Welcome back. So I hope that you guys are having some great discussions. It's just awesome. Our next area that we're going to be going over is exposing fear. And so hopefully you have somebody in your group that's willing and able to read Hebrews 11:23 through 28, and we'll let you get to that. So pause now.
Well, welcome back. So this is a multi-question section. So leaders, if at the end, after I read all of the questions, that you need to stop this video, do so, and reread the questions. You should have the handout that Pastor John sent via email. So here's the questions. What fears do you think Moses' parents might have faced in surrendering their baby? I can't even imagine that. What fears do you think Moses might have faced in surrendering the palace for the wilderness? Mm-hmm. What fears do you think Moses might have faced in returning to the palace? Oh, not palace. Returning to the place of his failure in Egypt as God's deliverer. Pause now.
All right. I'm sure that was a lot to chew on. Hopefully your time hasn't expired. Hopefully there's still some more
no
left.
Expiring time.
So anyway, the next question in that we have is, where are you at in God's process? Are you at the palace, the death, the wilderness, or the awakening? So take a little time and talk about in your own lives, where you're at in each of those places, or one of those places, and have a great discussion with that. So pause now.
Well, welcome back. We're on the last section called Battling Fear. So battling fear, the question is, just as God asked Moses to yield what was in his hand, and he is talking about the staff, and Makana talked about how Moses threw the staff down on the ground and it became a snake. That would have totally freaked me out. Just as God asked Moses to yield what was in his hand, what has God put in your hand, your puzzle piece, that he could use to help his people? Your time, your talent, your treasure. So pause now.
All right, we're getting close to the very end. I think we are at the end here. Here's our last our last point here to get across. Okay, in the continuation of battling fear, it says, where could you surrender what God has given you in service to those in the community around you? brainstorm a way to reach out with the service project over the next couple of weeks. Pray over these ideas. I actually think you should pause after that first part, but you get the point.
Your leader can reread the question. I always need you to have, Dave's my leader from my talk story thing, and I always have to have him reread the question. So.
Well, she has paper now, so she can bring it with her. All right, so pause now.
Okay, Scott. I think we're done.
Is that it? Oh, that's it, yeah.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Welcome.
Okay, Jeff and Kao.
Bye.
You're
Aloha.
back next week.
See you later.